Hey y'all, it's your girl Arisza, licensed clinical social worker, test prep guru, your personal hype squad, whatever you need me to be to help you pass this exam. This is the place where you're going to get the tools, the strategy, and the confidence you need to level up. That's right, level up and finally pass your exam. So I'm gonna go ahead with this video and I'm telling you it's a banger bang. As you can see, I'm in a different location today. I'm traveling and I'm like, look, even though I'm traveling, I still gotta make sure my people get what they need so they can pass this exam. I'm telling you, I'm all about it. I'm telling you guys, I'm in the trenches with ya. So before I jump into the video, this is one of our shirts on the merch store. So you'll see it dropping pretty soon, but I'm ready. You walk around with a shirt that says level up. That's all you can do in life is level up. You're here and you're trying to get here. That's what them 4 letters is gonna get you for sure. So I want you to remember that when you see these shirts in a display and you just like, look, I need to pass this exam. I need to do it. I need to do it. And your anxiety start getting the best of you, go ahead and purchase that video in the video. What am I saying? Go ahead and purchase the t-shirt in the Shopify store so you can wear it and you can level up. But without further ado, I decided to do this video because I look at all the analytics and I look at what is really speaking to my people. What do you really want? What do you really like? And I'm showing that buzzword video. Ooh, you guys went all in. Tons of views, thousands of views on that one. And then I saw another one on how to handle a first style question. And I'm like, that might be why people feel more comfortable doing the first style question. So I also did a video for the next, but that's only dropped inside of my private community inside of YouTube. If you purchase the $9.99 subscription, you get the videos first, you get some lives, you get some test questions, you just get a little bit of stuff that I'm just throwing at you to keep you focused and keep you in the game. And you also keep this channel going. So I appreciate you guys. Much love. Definitely appreciate all that you do to show your girl support. But without further ado, I've got a lot of questions on how do I handle those best and most questions. They're really helping me. They're really struggling with answering it. Yes, the people who are taking the exam are struggling. They're like best and most are killing me. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle it. So I'm like, you know what? What better video to do than best and most and break it down and give you some examples. Now, I'm only going to give you a few examples. And I see a lot of you in the comment section like, do a video on this, post this, answer this style question, go this. That is why you need to support your girl and join the community. And from there, join one of our courses, our programs. You get to get down with one of our coaches that's giving you the real life sauce in real live situations so you can actually level up faster, quicker. That's what a course does. Many of you are reaching out to me saying, oh my goodness, I'm taking my exam this day. And you're like a week away. And then you reach out to me like, oh my God, I didn't pass. What do? You come to moi. We're going to help you pass the exam. And for those of you who have not passed the exam, you've been working with me, you know I'm still working with you. So you're going to pass the exam. Most of the time when I have people who take the exam and they don't pass the first time, they're definitely passing the second time. The odds and the likelihood of you passing after doing one of our programs is probably like a 75 to 80% increase. And that's just being real. I've seen people jump 15 points. I've seen people jump 18 points. I've seen people who have taken the exam, wasn't really prepared, but went forward and missed it by 2 or 3 points. So either way, it's a win-win over here. I know you see those big courses and programs, 1,000 people pass this month, 100 people pass this month. Of course, you got 1 trillion people in your program. I would hope 100 will pass. But definitely this program in the community has only been around for a short period of time. And we have well over hundreds of people who have passed the exam. The social proof is in the comments on the YouTube videos and inside of the community. So if you just want to jump in the community just to be nosy and go to the community wins tab and just keep scrolling down, you'll see all the wins right there. So without enough said, I know you guys be doing my timestamps and trying to make sure I jump into the content. So right now at 3 minutes and 55 seconds in, I'm getting ready to show you how to level up and do this test by handling these best and most style questions. All right, you ready? All right, fam, here we go. If first questions have you sweating, let's talk about the ones that make people second guess. And that is the best and most style questions. As I told you, these are the ones that seem like they just kind of boom, boom, they're coming out of nowhere and people are just unable to handle them. And you know why? These questions are designed to feel like they're 2 right answers. Yes, 2. 1, 2. These are designed to make you feel like they're 2 right answers. So today I'm going to show you how you always pick the one that gets you the points. Yes, this is a tease. I'm going to give you some quick examples of the best style questions and I'm going to give you 2 answers and I want you to think about it. Don't solve it just yet. I want you to kind of think about it when I get to those questions. All right. So get your pen and paper, write down what you think the answer might be. When we get to that, we still going to give you some of the meat first. And then when we get to that part, which is the dessert, I want to make sure you prepare with your pen and pad. All right. So what best and most really means? Best means most effective, most ethical, most aligned with social work values. Think which action provides the strongest client benefit without skipping any steps. Just think about that for a moment when you're looking at the question. That is what you need to be thinking. And if you see a most style question, you need to ask yourself, what is the most comprehensive or the most inclusive action that I can do and get the most or the best maximum result? All right. So just think about it. Which answer addresses answers the broader need or covers multiple aspects. The key difference from best and most and first and next style questions is that first and next style questions deal with time sequence. It isn't about focus. It's about like the quality and the scope, like what you're doing first, what you're doing next. You can kind of look at it and tell. But how the exam tricks you up, they technically give you two correct answers. One's good, but one's better. One's good, but one's better. So this is how you level up, by knowing how to actually handle it and move forward. They throw in like some common sense answers that sound practical, but they aren't really grounded in ethics. They use words like refer or explore to tempt you away from an even stronger response. So remember, the NASW Code of Ethics plus the hierarchy of needs always wins. Always wins. Think about it, guys. NASW Code of Ethics, some of you guys are reading your ethics every day, and the hierarchy of needs, that is going to help you win majority of the time. All right, guys, real quick, I'm always talking about the community, the LCSW vibes. We leveling up, and this is the sneak peek of the community. As you can see, it's on and popping. We got a lot happening. I got ethics over here, human development, or study guides that you guys asked me about on the YouTube channels, all right there. Test questions. You just want to level up and learn and see if you can answer those questions. I'm testing your knowledge. Let me go back to the home screen. If you want to learn more about what services I offer and what other things are there, that is where you go to the learning tabs. We leveling up, so why don't you join so you can level up too? So let's do some examples. You got a client that's depressed and they're a little isolated, and the answers include stuff like encourage socialization, refer to a psychiatrist, begin CBT, or explore suicide ideation. Now, the best response in this question would be to explore suicide ideation, because we want to rule out that safety before we start intervening. Here's another example, a most style question. An agency wants to evaluate effectiveness of a new parenting program. So think about that. Do you review the case notes first? Do you interview the parents? Do you use multiple evaluation methods, or do you ask the staff for opinions? This is a most style question, so you're going to use the multiple evaluation methods. Hopefully you guys are getting what I'm throwing. All right, here's another one. A teen admits that using substances at school. Do you contact the parents immediately? Do you explore the student's perspective? Do you refer them to rehab, or do you notify the school administration? What's the best answer? We explore the student's perspective first. We need to see what's going on. We need to know, like, hey, I know you admit that there's substance use at school, not necessarily if they're using it, but there's substance use at school. So I don't know if they're using it or their peers are using it, but either way, we know something's going down. So do we immediately contact the parents? Do we talk to the student and say, what's going on? Like, why are you using, or what's happening here? Do we just say, oh my goodness, you need to go to a rehab facility and work on this? Or do we notify the school administration? What do we do in that situation? What would be the best option? Now, you think about the kid using substances in school, and you're probably like, I need to let the school know because that's illegal. Or maybe I need to refer to their parents because this kid is hurting themselves or harming themselves. But there's steps to this thing, guys. Before we jump and do anything, we need to gather more information, more insight. So in this case, it's better to explore like what's going on from the student's perspective, like kind of get some meat about what's happening before we jump on and do any other type of thing. Now, it's important to do that when you're taking a question. You want to really break down like why this answer is right and why this answer is right, but why this answer is better and why this answer might not be. These are the questions that take a little bit of time. I always tell people, read the question and keep it moving. Read the question, answer it, keep it moving. Read the question, answer it, keep it moving. And some of you guys take minutes and minutes, and sometimes it feels like hours on one question. Now, I can see the best and most style questions giving you a bang for your buck and making you stay there a little bit longer with reading them. But when you're reading them, it should only be two that you're wrestling between. One, two, or two. Put down the other hand. Yes, that you're wrestling with. And when you do that, it's really to see which one is the best or which one is the most effective. These are the things you need to think about when you're taking these questions, because I see them kicking y'all in y'all. So I need to make sure you're focusing and you really understand what it is. I don't know what that noise was, but just let's skip with the video. So I'm going to give you some questions, right? I'm going to give you some best and most style questions. I'm going to pause, let you answer them. We're going to walk through some stuff. You know, I want you to use your reasoning though, your first, next, best, most framework. I need you to use it because it tells you what to do when there's a best style question, what to do when there's a next, what to do the best, what to do with the most. And we're going to be talking about what? Yes, best and most. So this exam, remember guys, isn't asking for what works. It's asking for what works best or what is most comprehensive. That is how we have to deal with it. So let's jump into these questions real quick, and then we're going to come back and do a little recappy. All right, guys. So we're going to jump into some of these style questions so you can test it out and just let me know if it makes sense, if it's helping you. If it's making sense, put it in the comment section. It makes sense. That's all I need to see. So then I know this video was effective. It was helpful and you're getting it. If you need more of a breakdown and more support, that is where the private tutoring sessions come in. That is where the group coaching comes in. That is where the course comes in. That is where the boot camp comes in. That is where the extra sauce is. I believe in, even to get to this point that I am in life, I have invested in a lot of money in myself to get to this level, to help me understand different things, how to break things down, how to use social media, how to grow several businesses, how to just do it all. I've invested in people who've done it before me because clearly what they did worked. And that is kind of how it comes with this test. You want to use tools and strategies out there to show social proof that works and that people are getting what they're saying they're getting. But again, ultimately, it boils down to you, what you're willing to do and what sacrifices you're willing to make to get to that next level. All right, so let me go ahead and jump into this best style question. Some of you have already reading the question while I was talking and look, I ain't got the time. I just need to know the question. So I'm going to give you what you want, right? So here's the question right here. I want you to kind of read it out loud, give yourself some time and then pause it. You can pause the video, stop, break, do whatever. But I'm going to read it out to you for those who are driving and need me to read it so they're not looking at the video while they're on the road. A 34-year-old client with a history of recurrent major depressive episodes presents for their initial session. The client reports a 2-month period of persistent low mood, anhedonia, sleep disturbance, and feelings of worthlessness. The social worker has completed a comprehensive biopsychosocial assessment. The client has a history of poor response to previous antidepressant medication and states, I don't want to go back on medications. I've heard talk therapy is better. What is the best course of action for the social worker to take next? Now, in my brain, I breaks it down before I even jump into the question options. I'm looking at it, right? 34-year-old, history of major depressive disorder. This is the first time I'm meeting with them. They report 2 months of persistent low mood, anhedonia, sleep disturbances, worthlessness. All right. I did the full assessment. They don't want medication. They want to do talk therapy. All right. What's my best course of action? Boom. Summarizing it. A, do I explain the benefits of medication management and strongly recommend the client schedule an appointment with a psychiatrist, as medication is often the most effective treatment for severe depression? Or B, do I begin to explore the client's cognitive distortions and negative self-talk using cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, framework to address the depressive symptoms? Or do I C, acknowledge the client's past experience and preference for therapy, and then collaboratively develop a treatment plan that integrates evidence-based talk therapy while leaving open the possibility of a future psychiatric consultation if symptoms do not improve? Or D, do I provide the client with psychoeducation on the neurobiological components of depression and the importance of medication adherence while also validating their feelings about past treatment? Ooh-wee. These answers are loaded, baby. So I'm going to give you a few seconds. I'm going to go ahead and pause and let you go ahead and see if you can break them down, because I know you're going to have to read through those questions again. Some of you that are actually driving, you're just going to need to pause because your girl cannot read those questions again. They were kind of lengthy. So go ahead and just pause the video and just go ahead and read through the answer options, and then we're going to break it down, because remember, this is a best style question. A few of these are some right answers. They might all be right, but one of them is butter and one of them is the best. All right, now that you guys got a chance to read these questions and break them down and decide what it is, what are you thinking? What are you thinking with the best answers here? All right, so yeah, you can explain the benefits of medication management, da-da-da-da. You can explore the client's cognitive distortions, da-da-da-da-da. That's, kind of intervening. Psychoeducation for the first one. The second one, you're also intervening, doing some type of intervention because you're exploring like deep into the cognitive distortions and that kind of thing. C, you're more kind of acknowledging what's happening with them and da-da-da-da. And in D, you're providing them with some more psychoeducation. So it's kind of like when you look at it, some of the answers, A, B, and D, they kind of have some similarities because you're doing all some type of intervening, which is cool. This isn't a first style question. This isn't a next, but it is a best. So we just need to know what's the best course of action. Doesn't always mean we can't do certain things, but we need to know what's best. Hey guys, I stopped by to tell you this. You do not have to win alone. Absolutely not. People in the community are winning each and every day. The proof is in the pudding. Go in the community. It's free. We're throwing down test questions, case studies, the FNBM Method, all the details and everything you need so you can succeed. Click the link in the bio and join. You don't need to do this alone. See you soon. All right, so breaking it down, I'm going to jump right into the answer. It's C. That is the best answer because it demonstrates the core social work principles. You got self-determination in there. You got strength-based approach. And just going back on the question, you can see it right there. We're acknowledging first and foremost, they have a preference. So before we jump in and start explaining the benefits of this and beginning to explore this, we acknowledge like, hey, I get it. You've tried this before and this didn't work, or you've heard this is more effective and you would like to try it. Like we literally got to meet the client where they are. And in this moment, we're acknowledging what they have experienced and what they're actually saying. And then if we develop that treatment plan, we're going to integrate some of that evidence-based talk therapy while also leaving the door open to say, hey, I know you don't want to take the medications. Sometimes they work really well together. So we'll leave that door open and that possibility for another time. But let's kind of talk about some integrated self-talk therapy and how that would look. That's kind of what you're doing in this question scenario. So I want you to kind of think it through, look at the answer choices. I'm going to jump back again so you can read the rationale. Let me know if you have any questions. I know you guys be going hard in the comments sections. If you disagree, agree, whatever it is, but this isn't really up for debate. But if you do have a question and you need me to elaborate more, that's why it's important to work with your girl, because it's kind of hard to do that in the comment section. But go ahead and read that real quick, and then we're going to move on to the next question. All right, now we're going to move into a most style question. Here it says a community-based organization has launched a new youth empowerment program. It's aimed at reducing truancy and improving academic engagement among high school students in low-income neighborhoods. The program consists of weekly after-school mentorship sessions and tutoring. The social worker is tasked with evaluating the program's effectiveness over its first year. What is the most comprehensive and robust way for the social worker to evaluate the program's outcomes? So when you see me reading the question and I kind of pause because it's kind of a meaty question. And when you get these meaty questions, I don't like to read them all like it's a novel, because it ain't. I'm reading bits and pieces of a time. So I see that it's a community-based organization. It's a new youth empowerment program. And the purpose is to reduce truancy and improve academic engagement among high school students, and they all live in this low income area. So that's enough for me to digest. I got my little notes over here and I'm jotting it down because that's all important information, but it's a lot. So I need to make sure I understand it. And then I move on. So the program consisted of weekly after school mentorship where they had sessions and tutoring. Now, my job is to evaluate whether it was effective over its first year. So I need to figure out what's the most comprehensive and robust way for me to evaluate the program's overall outcome. Like just looking at the outcome of the program and I'm evaluating it, I need to take in all of that information in its totality. All right. So the first option is, do we conduct a qualitative study using semi-structured interviews and focus groups with participants to gather perspectives on the program's impact? B, do administer a pre and a post-program survey to all participants to measure changes in self-reported attitudes towards school and academic goals? C, do we request truancy and grade point average data from the school district and compare the outcomes of the program participants to a similar control group of students not in the program? D, do we utilize a mixed method approach that combines program participation data, school reported academic and truancy statistics, and qualitative feedback from focus groups and surveys of participants and their parents? Now remember here, guys, these questions, these options are, ooh, baby, they're meaty. They're making us think today. My brain, I gotta take some brain power meds. I do got some over here. I ain't take none today, but I'll show you those if you need something to get your brain going. All right. So looking at these questions right here, you can see, remember overall, we need to go back and see what it's asking us to do. We're the social worker and we're tasked with evaluating the program's effectiveness over the first year. And we need to figure out what is the most comprehensive and robust way for us to evaluate the program's outcomes. So remember, the program is aimed at what? Reducing truancy and improving academic engagement among high school students. Not all students, just high school students in a low income neighborhood. So as you can see, it's very specific in who is in the program, what it was aimed to do, and what the overall outcomes are. So think about it for a moment and then pause for a few seconds, write down your answers, your thought process behind why you thought it was this versus this, and breaking down the two questions you were wrestling between, and then I'll reveal the answer. All right. And D is the most comprehensive, because that is what the question asked. The question said, what is the most comprehensive and robust way for the social worker to evaluate the program outcomes? So when you're saying most comprehensive, it's like, woo, it's throwing everything at you. Is the test likely to ask you for the most comprehensive? Probably not. But again, I'm giving you an idea of what the most style question looks like. And if you're doing something that's most comprehensive, looking at the answer choices to see which one would be that. And as you can see, D would be the answer, because D is actually showing you how it integrates multiple data sources and methods to create a holistic picture of the program's effectiveness. We're combining the objective, the quantitative data, that's looking at the truancy reports, the GPA, the surveys, all of that stuff, with the subjective qualitative data. That's like the interviews, the focus groups, like we're doing it all. So this is the most comprehensive when you're looking at the data and you're looking at how much meat is in each question and what we're going to be doing. This approach not only addresses both what happened, but why it happened. And it includes the input from all the various stakeholders, which are the students and the parents in this case. So yes, very meaty question, lots of information, but I'm hoping you get the gist. This is what you do when you're looking at something that is most effective, because as you can see, all of them were great. They were really good answers, but there was one that was better than the other that answered the question that the STEM stated, and that was the most comprehensive. So that is what I want you guys to think about when you're actually answering questions, making sure you're looking at what it's asking and going from there, because that's going to really help you when it comes to this. Are you studying for the LCSW or LMSW exam? Don't waste time on the wrong prep. Try my test prep program for free with a full module that gives you the real strategies, the real practice, and real results. Plus, you get access to my exclusive test prep community where you'll find support, study material, and accountability. No risk, no stress, just results. Click the link in the bio so you can get ready to win with the winning team. All right, so here goes some test day strategy, just real quick. Make sure you read the question STEM carefully. Best versus most. It changes everything. You need to understand when you see those style questions so you know how to tackle it, what it's asking you to do, and how you need to go from there. All right, you also want to eliminate answers that are too narrow or either too extreme. So if it's too vague, that's what I mean by I say narrow, like it's not enough meat in there, or if it's just a whole lot of stuff. That's a little too extreme. We want to start with the least invasive when we're doing these things. We also want to look at ethics hierarchy, safety, legal, ethical, clinical, all those things we want to consider when we're taking these questions. If both seem right, pick the one that aligns with the values or which one will have a wider impact overall for the client and will be the best long-term. That is kind of how we're dealing with these questions. All right. So remember, best is the strongest ethical action. Most is the broadest or most comprehensive action. Which one trips you up the most? Best the most? Drop it in the comment section. Let me know if it's a best style question, most style question. Then we maybe can break it down and do a separate video on just one or the other to help you out. Or better yet, join the community. Or do the boot camp. Because if you guys are saying, hey, this is what's not working or this is what I need more of, each and every boot camp I elevate, increase, and add more content, more data, and more information based on what you need. So the next boot camp is coming up probably 3 or 4 weeks from when this video is made, because I do one each and every month. And what we'll do likely is in the strategy section, start doing some real live hands holding when you do these questions and breakdowns. We do tons of questions, tons of content. I'm telling you 12 plus hours, but I'm thinking your girl might need to reel in on some areas and add more of the strategy, because I know my people know content. If you're working with me and you've invested in the course or you invested in any type of program I have, I know you know your content. That's the thing over here. We know the information. Now, how to apply it, that's next level stuff. And that is why you need to invest in something like the bootcamp or private tutoring, because we can break it down and give you the strategy and the tools you need to level up and pass this. All right, I had to move the mic. Level up and pass this exam. All right, guys, so make sure you like, subscribe, tell a friend. We trying to do the darn thing over here. This channel is growing, baby. We litty over here for real. We doing the darn thing. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the support. As you know, I'm traveling. I'm here at Howard University. I'm part of the HUPAC. For those of you who are wondering where I'm at, because, you know, I'm just always all over the place. But the Hampton University, I'm sorry. Woo, how did I mess up and say that? Hopefully my editor takes that part out. Howard University Parent Association Council. No issues with Hampton. I have a niece that goes to Hampton University, but Hampton plays Howard this weekend, and it's the parents group. And what I do is I'm part of the program. I'm the secretary, actually, of the HUPAC, which is part of the executive board of the parent council. And I'm here to support where we do a presentation for all the parents. Like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of parents come from all over the place to meet and greet the staff, the president, and everyone at Howard University. As you know, it's the Mecca. It's the #1 HBCU. For those of you who are watching the video and like, what is Howard? That is the HBCU, or should I say the Block Harvard or Yale. Yes, and they get it in. When I tell you that's a beautiful campus, beautiful school, and it just, you know, lights my soul every day when I'm there. Love giving back to the youth, helping them out and the parents and all that stuff. So anyways, I'm there, and I'm actually getting ready to head to something within another hour or two. Oh, I'm actually volunteering at the National African American History Museum, where I'm going to be greeting the parents who are coming there to do whatever. Last year I went to the game. Howard didn't win. Hopefully they do win this year, but I won't be making it to the game. But I got my daughter there, my niece there, my other daughter there. Like, it's just a big family fiesta. But I'm here with you guys, giving you the sauce, breaking it down, test prepping in the trench, studying, taking notes, using other laptops, like all of this stuff while I'm on vacation, making sure that I can give you what you give. All right. So anyways, I hope this video gave you exactly what you needed. Don't forget, best and most, drop it in the comment section. Let me know which one is helping you or which one is hindering you so I can make sure I help you. Level up. I love you guys. Have a blessed and amazing day.